Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Bhurida Janaha Bhuvi Grinanti Bhurida Janaha. Naren is being awakened by Sri Ramakrishna to the core of his existence, to see divine. Any defect in us of any type other than pure divinity will make us see some amount of world and worldliness in this world. When pure divinity awakens, then we see in every being divine. The presence of God is perceived when we find ourselves divine. And words of people, talks regarding the world do not disturb, because it neither enters within nor gets registered. Because divine is filled within. Anything connected with the world drops off like water falling on the lotus leaf or lotus petal. So he wants Naren that his inner divinity is awakened to see God in everyone. Otherwise, even slightest taratamya, differences, in he is capable, this person is not capable, that is possible, this is not possible. These awarenesses will limit our work of master. By grace of God and by will of God, everything is possible. God can do and undo anything, wipe away the karmas also, drive away the vasanas, do anything. There is no limitation. When we see Hanuman working for Rama, total trust in Rama, and I will never fail in my work when I work for Rama. And his ego is totally absent. Nachiketa was asked by his father, yes, I am going to give you to the death, Lord of the death, Yama. For a while he wonders. He goes on pestering father now and then. Whom are you going to give? Whom are you going to give me? Because in that particular yajna, he has to give away all his possessions. So, if father gives me to a valuable person, out of merit, he may go to higher levels of existence. With that he goes on. Getting angry, father says, I have given you away to death. Yama. Then for a while he thinks, Bahuna memi prathamo, Bahuna memi madhyamaha. I stand first among many. Maybe I stand second among a few. But I am never the third one. Why my father is giving away me to Yama of all the people? So many devatas are there, so many. He thinks, you see, Bahunami mi prathamo, Bahunami mi madhyamaha. I fear such a thing. This is what Thakur expects from Naren. I am divine. How did this thought came? You see Swamiji introspecting this introspection, applying when he will be going in the Parivraja. In one place, he wanted to have a smoke. And there, he sees, he refuses to give his pipe. Then he says, I belong to lower class. Then when he says, I belong to lower class and start moving away, Swamiji just, the moment he hears old samskaras, he starts going away. Within a few steps, he recollects, Are, I'm a sannyasi, I'm a jnani. How do I differentiate people? He may be a mlaicha of low caste or anything. For what is it to me? For me, all are equal. Suppose he would have said, happily given, thinking that he belongs to a higher class, I would have taken. Because he is lower class, am I going to leave and go away? He returns. Dancer. When she dances, there also he expresses his differentiation. I will not go. Prabhu mere avaguna chitanadharo. Hearing that song, he surrenders there. Introspection. Am I really absolute equanimity of divinity of God? Am I seeing everything in the eyes of God? He asked that question. Same, Prabhu mere avaguna. End, last stanza. ज्ञानी का है भेद करो, अज्ञान से भेद होवे, ज्ञानी का है भेद करो. That opens his eyes. अज्ञान से भेद होवे. एक जीवा एक ब्रह्म कहावत, सूरदास जगरो. अज्ञान से भेद होवे, ज्ञानी का है भेद करो. Then, after Nirvikalpa, after spending so many years after Nirvikalpa in constant thought of divine, have I got this Veda still? No. That after the Purna Jnana, how is that a tinge of shadow of Maya is coming in my mind? The Thakur wants to see, penetrate into every being and see that divine God in everyone and serve. He is awakening that consciousness, which again he will, wherever he finds any difference, any shadow coming, he tears it away and throws away. No. I am Brahman means I am Brahman. And I have to see Brahman. How can Maya stand in front of Brahman? That Thakur is preparing him for the highest experience on one side and work of Divine Mother. He has to work for Divine Mother, which Thakur calls Divine Mother. It is his own work, Thakur's own work. Dharma Samstapana has to take place. He has brought him for that purpose. He is preparing, awakening. Slowly he is awakening the purpose for which he has come into this world. Each of us have come with a purpose. And there is a past, cause and effect. There is a cause for everything what is happening in our life. There is a cause and there is a purpose. Cause behind and purpose in the front. Nature manages all this. A particular power, especially meant for that, is working in place of, for the welfare of every sadhaka. We used to give Arghya every day in the river. We used to go. When Mataji was here, we used to go and give Arghya. Om Em Sarvadevdevi Surupaya Ramakrishna Swaha, Yesha Arghya. We go on all the devatas we used to do. Mataji introduced one important Arghya to be offered. Sakala Sadhaka Shreyartham. Omesho Arghya Sakala Sadhaka Shreyartham Shri Vishnave Swaha. Sakala Sadhaka Shreyartham. One power which is managing the life of all sadhakas, whatever path he may take to God, whatever way he may look at God, doesn't matter. She is there to help them in their own way to go towards God. So, Naren becomes an instrument in the hand of that power to help the sadhakas who are caught in the modern materialistic world. The pravaha flood of materialism and enjoyments. From there, he has to be saved. Every life has to be saved. So, when Naren says, I think anybody speaking ill of me, I think dogs are barking behind me. And I go, no, you have to see God in them. What a difference you see. The whole plate is changed into a new awareness. The world awareness has to be dissolved by force or otherwise, and try to see the divine will working everywhere, and everyone, every jiva moving towards the same end. Where I am going, from source we have emerged, and to source, back to source, we have to move. Various paths we take, various period, time, factor we consume, and we ultimately, every jiva will reach back the source. So, Master says, even in tiger, there is God, but you cannot hug on that reason that God is there. Some from good people, you have to endure good people, and there is no harm in becoming close with them. But from the evil-minded, you have to be away. How long? Till you become a tree. When the plant is young, it needs fencing. When it is grown up, you are able to tie an elephant, then cows and goats will not graze it away. So, which is manifested Why should I run away from a tiger, which is also a manifestation of God? You may say. The answer is that those who tell you to run away are also manifestations of God. Why not? Why shouldn't you listen to them? Why should you not listen to them? You see, the message comes from various sources. Our tendency is select a few things and leave few things. One is, I know, but still I want to cover my viveka with ignorance. It is called self-conceit. Self-conceit. Sri Ramakrishna did not like two things in anybody. One is hypocrisy, one is self-conceit. Self-conceit in Bengali it is called Bhaber Gore Churi Kora. You know you are making mistake and covering it yourself. By somebody presenting you to your own mind reasoning. So something, because vasanas are more powerful than the viveka. Viveka is there. In many people, viveka won't be there. Only vasana is driving. In a few, there will be viveka, but it is the self-conceit, cheating oneself. So that he did not like. In the firmament of trust, faith, in bhava, picking one's own pocket, pickpocket we do for others. So that's what. So there he says, the one who is telling also is manifestation of God. Let me tell you a story. In a forest, there lived a holy man who had many disciples. One day, Sri Ramakrishna, simple stories. Carrying huge train, small engine, dragging a huge locomotive. One day he taught them to see God in all beings, and knowing this, to bow down before all of them. A disciple went to the forest to gather wood for sacrificial fire. Suddenly he heard an outcry, "Get out of the way, get out of the way, a mad elephant is coming." All but the disciple of the holy man took to their heels. He reasoned that elephant also was God in another form. Then why should I run away from it? He stood still, bowed down before the animal and began to sing his praises. The mahout of the elephant was shouting, "Run away, run away." But the disciple did not move. The animal seized him with its trunk, cast him to one side, and went on its way. Hurt and bruised, the disciple lay unconscious on the ground. Hearing what had happened, his teacher and his brother disciples came to him and carried him to the hermitage. With the help of some medicine, he soon regained consciousness. Someone asked him, "You knew elephant was coming. Why did not you leave the place?" But he said, "Our master had told us that God himself has taken all these forms of animals as well as men. Therefore, thinking it was only an elephant god that was coming, I did not run away. At this the teacher said, "My child, yes, my child, it is true that elephant god was coming, but the Mahavut god forbade you from standing there. Since all are manifestations of God, why did not you trust Mahavut's words? You should have heeded the words of the Mahavut God." See, where we make mistake is we take partial truth. Knowingly doing is called Anukula Vedanta. We apply. Like devil quoting scriptures. Half the sentence is alone quoted, the other half is left out. Many people do. It is devil quoting the scriptures. So there is devil within us. It is said in the scriptures that water is a form of God, but some water is fit to be used for worship, some water for washing the face, and some only for washing places or dirty linen. This last sort cannot be used for drinking or for holy purposes. In like manner, God undoubtedly dwells in the hearts of all, holy and unholy, righteous and unrighteous, but a man should not have dealings with the unholy, the wicked, the impure. He must not be intimate with them. With some of them he may exchange words, but with others he should not go even that far. He should keep aloof from such people. In my school days, incidentally I remember, my father had selected only one boy with whom I can be intimate. With all others, be friendly, hi-bye, friends. No intimacy, because this boy was extremely strong in moral. He will never make a mistake and he will not tolerate others doing mistake. I don't do mistakes, but I don't bother if others make mistakes. But he is not to tolerate. He will drag any boy making any mischief to the principal. That will be shouting this, that he will not leave. He had little muscular body also. And he will never do. But you see, he will not tolerate others. That was the... And my father was fond of him because he would not allow me, his son, to do any out of way to go. And he was the only boy who used to sing Bhagavata every day and do Sandhya Vandana and all. He belonged to Iyengar's family. So my father, and with all others, be lovingly, don't have intimacy, don't hate, don't dislike. But including my teacher, they used to make fun of me because I was extremely fair. They used to call me white cockroach. White cockroach. And my teacher would rub my ears with hand and used to, my whole face will become red. Then she will tell, "See, look at tomato." So I used not to feel hurt. I used to, they are enjoying what is there. I too will laugh. But when she used to rub my ears, I used to feel pain. But this boy, one boy, used to say always, white cockroach has come, white cockroach has come. I used not feel hurt, but he goes on teasing me. I used to understand. Then I was in 8th standard, not small, too small. I'm able to understand. So I used to think, why is it, so many friends are there, boys are there, they used not to tease. They may use sometime for fun, but he used to go on nagging with that word, white cockroach. So one day he used to come by cycle to school. One day he was making fun in this cycle down and going. He fell down. I was there by the side. I told him, see, white cockroach, white cockroach. He used to tell, no, white cockroach. I went away. Then when I went to home, I told my father this incident. One boy was there in the school. He used to go on calling me white cockroach and tease me. He fell from the cycle. It is fruit of the teasing me, I said. My father wondered. He said, what did you do when he fell down? I said, you are teasing, that's why it happened, and I came away. He said, no, you have done the wrong thing. Even if his enemy, even if he hates you, your duty was to help him when he has fallen in the street. Any incident, anything anybody doing to you should not create a hatred or dislike or a contempt for the person who is doing it. Always be conscious of what God expects you to do. Then suddenly, then he said, what will you do now? I said, what can be done? He must have got and went away. Tomorrow when you go to school, you pat his back, be friendly with him, and tell, sorry, I should have helped you. You tell sorry. I was hesitant to tell, he is doing so much, and then I should go and tell sorry also for not having done. Then my father has told. Then my father said, will you tell? I said, yes. Then I went and told him, as soon as I met, I should have helped you. I am sorry I did not do. From that day he stopped. He became so friendly and started, just because I told him sorry. That sorry word made him to give up that tendency. See, where do we make mistake? Somehow that raga dvesha develops unconsciously. I want to protect myself. I want others not to show their fingers. Later on, slowly my father started training us in such a way, accept suffering, accept insults. What can be avoided, avoid. What cannot be avoided, face it joyfully. There is some purpose, there is some purpose. Nature is teaching something, God is teaching something. God is giving you some experience which has some purpose somewhere. So, this is what we see. Now, what Naren is being taught by Thakur to see mouth God, see how the mind works. Slowly, one by one, principles of holding on to truth and reality, by the time you gain in your life and build up your life, how much difficult it is. Because my father was a intense sadhaka of a very high order. He could guide us in a different way from the early boyhood. In others' houses, they don't have that opportunity. So, the future generation, we must help the parents. Only parents, journalists, and teachers can transform this world. Journalists must know always what to give to the society or what not to give. Unwanted things, they go on expanding. They are subliminal instigations for people to do. If somebody has done murder or some offense, if they make a big issue of it, good things are coming up, it never appears in the news. Billions of good things are happening. Bad things are all happening. Bad things are highlighted so high that everybody thinks this is the common way of life. To do that, otherwise we cannot survive in this world, they feel. There are some countries where all bad things are suppressed. No. The government rules. Only good things. What good government is doing, what good people are doing. So that your positive thinking, your awarenesses change in this society. Otherwise, we will go on falling deeper, going deeper and deeper, like standing in quicksand. These parents, they have got great responsibility to bring clear understanding of life. Bear, my child, all suffering. Thakur used to say, sho. Je shoy, shiroy, je na shoy, tat na shoy. Whoever bears, he will survive. Who doesn't, will perish. So this Thakur is slowly. Simple thing is, he has come for a purpose, he has forgotten. He has to be reminded. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.